The enemy is very crafty. And I need you to understand that the devil will always try to poke holes in your marital destiny, your relationship, anything that you're believing God for. He will always try to rob you of your blessings. Now, when you know what the Word of God tells us, it lets us know that the enemy comes to rob, steal, kill, destroy, corrupt. All right. And I want you to understand that you're dealing with a spirit, and he wants you to pay attention to your spouse. He doesn't want you to look at him, but he wants you to look at your spouse and their actions so you do not take the proper response into waging war against him. I need you to understand that you have authority over Satan, and he doesn't want you to understand that. He doesn't want you to operate in that. He just wants you to look at the situations that he is manipulating and influencing. His job is to lead you away from God and not to believe nothing that God can do, will do, and what God is saying, okay? But I need you to readjust your focus in understanding that the devil is the culprit. Now, the world, okay, the world's perspective is going to say that you're crazy, you're delulu, all of these different things. The world's perspective, but the Bible lets us know if you are a friend to the world, you are an enemy to God, okay? So the world doesn't have nothing to do with the Lord. Those people who do not decide to surrender to God, they want to do what they want to do. I'm making this video to help you understand that God is trying to stop the cycle, okay? God is trying to stop the cycles that you've been going through in your life, and he's telling you to obey him because it is in your obedience that this cycle is broken. God can change your spouse. God can fix your spouse. He can change their minds. Remember when you was rebellious and he changed your mind, he can change and transform your spouse. Okay? So I need you to understand that your response to this situation determines the cycle. So if you're consistently being crazy and doing everything, all you're doing is feeding into the enemy's trap and doing exactly what he wants you to do. God revealed to me the reason why the devil will send another woman to try to break up a marriage or a home is because he's trying to divide. And when a spouse sees that there's a third party, 9 times out of 10, the spouse goes off, tears up the house and everything. That is what the devil wants. He wants the chaos and the corruption to happen. God gave me a very crazy instruction when I knew my spouse was talking to someone else. He told me to say nothing. God told me to be quiet. Now, I had gained understanding once I calmed down and once I fully submitted as to why God said nothing. And it was because the battle was spiritual. Number 2, me going off was what was driving my spouse away. My response was what the devil wanted. All right. He wanted me to do the crazy things. I was doing exactly what he wanted. And God told me to be quiet and say nothing. And I would say, God, you don't want me to address this situation to him? And God told me not to at the time. And he said to me, I will defend you. I will defend you. And I was like, God, you just want me to sit up here and let him do what he want to do? You want just get cheated on, God? And I was making a big fuss about what the devil was doing. And God began to tell me, the devil wants you to be crazy because it's going to push your spouse out. All right? You got to understand that the devil uses broken people. This is why it's so important to pray for your spouse and pray for their minds. You know, I would get so frustrated because it just seemed like it was consistent warfare when it came to me and my spouse. But I understand that God's plan came with warfare. I understand that God wanted my spouse's soul, and this was something that God desired. And if I didn't fight, my destiny would be on the line, okay? And everything concerning me would be on the line. And most people will not agree with this video, but I was quiet. And God fought that battle for me, and began to work in my husband, you know, in a way to where he doesn't want to sin against God again, okay? But I began to pray against what the enemy was doing, because when you begin to pray against what Satan wants, the will of God will manifest. And it is very much so possible for your husband or your wife to desire to please the Lord. This is not impossible. Luke 1:37 lets us know that all things are possible with God. So I want you to understand that you're breaking a curse. You are breaking a cycle. You're breaking a bloodline pattern in your spouse's life and yours by your obedience. Now is not the time to compare yourself to anyone else, but to be focused on God and do what He's telling you to do. I understand emotions are high, but at the end of the day, cry it out, but don't quit. Okay? If you are new to my page, I have an ebook called Uprooting the Other Woman. This ebook is full of prayers that has actually restored a lot of marriages. I have testimonies all over my page, and God, the Lord has told me to write this book. And I encourage you, if you don't know how to pray with your spouse and another woman, I encourage you to get the book. With the book, you will get Praying Him Through a Double Mind at a Discounted Rate. That you need to learn how to pray for your husband's mind, okay? All of that is in the link in my bio. It is in the link in my bio, okay? It's in the link at the top of my page. You will see it, all right? I pray this video has blessed you. I love you, and I will see you in the next video.